And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks, geeks, and crazy people of all ages. Thinks that's what we're going to need to call it for tonight.
Indeed. I do want to talk a little bit about Leo and his I guess you would call it
Obsession?
Admission?
His admission of obsession? Go for it.
Let me actually go back to the home screen because this. Actually, I can just go to. No, I'll just go to title.
Sounds good. Make sure you make a save.
I saved. But another thing I want to talk about is like Leo. I think he just committed like almost maybe a cardinal sin. He's got like I think everybody's got some kind of weird shit that they do. Like I've got my weird shit. I'm sure you've got some weird shit. And Leo's weird shit was pretending that Chase is there with him all the time and snuggling with his pillow, pretending it's Chase. And it's like
That's actually kind of normal behavior, though. So, here's the thing. Let me explain.
I just think it's really terrifying to actually open up to anybody about that.
So, here's the thing. When a relationship ends, there's a mourning period after that relationship ends, unless the person's a psycho, at which point there isn't. They're just like, screw that person. They just go find somebody else to, screw.
Feed off of.
But,
get their source from.
Yeah. But, essentially, when a relationship ends, it's really traumatic to the person for whom the relationship ended. And they tend to go through a grieving process. So, the terms ghosting and zombieing someone are kind of terms that are there to refer to this. So, when a relationship ends, whether that be a friendship or some sort of romantic or sexual entanglement relationship that you have with someone, the whole thing there is that because it's now over, that version of the person that you have is now kind of dead. So people go through a mourning process. As you no longer have access to that person, you can no longer be friends with that person. You can be friends with somebody after like a romantic relationship ends, but usually only if both people are really emotionally available, emotionally competent, I guess I'll say. So they have a high EQ, and they both agree that they would rather just end the relationship on good terms instead of just letting the relationship just die and then move away from each other. So, yeah. If someone ghosts someone else, what is effectively happening when you ghost or zombie someone, for those of you who don't know what these terms are, let me explain. So ghosting is when you just randomly cut all contact with someone, and then you just stop responding to them altogether. So you just went poof, and you're gone. Zombieing somebody is what Chase has done, with predictably bad results. To zombie someone is to ghost them, but then come back into their life. So remember that Chase basically ghosted Leo when he went to college. He didn't break up with him. He didn't text him breaking up with him. He didn't call him and break up with him or anything. He just sort of ghosted him. Vanished. Oof. And the results of this is that Leo is left in this state of not knowing whether or not the relationship is actually over. And unfortunately, what this does is if there's ambiguity there, the person who's typically being left behind might conclude that maybe there's a chance still. Maybe they still have, maybe it could come back. Maybe we could get together again, because it never really ended. It might have ended for Chase, but that doesn't mean it ended for Leo. So this is why. So I mean, what can literally end up happening is someone ghosts somebody else in a relationship, and then that person that they ghosted sees them with someone else, and it's like, oh, that cheater, and that they, go off on them or has a problem or something, or they try to move on but they just can't. So like Leo's had people that he's dated, or at least that he's had sex with, and so forth. So ghosting is bad. Okay, so zombieing, you do the exact same thing, but then you come back into their life. But then you act like nothing happened. So both of these things are really bad because denying somebody the closure of a relationship, be it a friendship, romantic entanglement, anything, effectively locks part of them into that. And if they really wanted the relationship to continue, they might hold on to hope of that or hold on to nostalgia of that. And so that's what Leo's doing. So we call it ghosting because it's similar to when someone dies. So if we look at couples where someone has died, typically speaking, the survivor will keep like pictures of the now deceased person, the decedent, if you will, all over the place. They'll leave their towel out. They will buy them groceries at the store that the person liked. They'll prepare that person's favorite food. They'll go to that person's favorite spot. They'll do all this stuff. They'll get a body pillow, and they'll hug the body pillow at night, imagining that they're hugging this person that died. So that's in relationships. That's what ghosting does. So what Leo needs to do, effectively, is accept that the relationship is over. It's done. And we actually see this in Leo's route. Spoilers, it's the first one we covered. Because what we literally see is when Chase tells Leo that the relationship's over, definitively, Leo moves forward in his life. He moves forward. Until that happens, Leo is stuck in this will he won't he sort of scenario where he's trapped in this, he's trapped in this state of perpetual nostalgia where he just doesn't know. And you don't want to do that to someone. So, dear viewer, if you break up with someone, man or woman up or envy up, grow a pair of balls or ovaries or whatever you have. Maybe they're made of plastic.
Made of plastic.
Hey, maybe they had that procedure done. They had their bottom surgery done. And friggin' end your relationships instead of ghosting them. Huh? Sound good? Because if you don't, you're just harming the other person to an incredible degree. If that other person has any kind of stalkery behaviors, you do not want that. I do know that it will suck if you are dating someone with borderline or something like that, and you need to break off that relationship. That is going to be a painful breakup. I do not envy you. But it will be an explosive breakup, most likely. Those of you who are dating someone with borderline or have borderline, you know what I'm talking about. You know. And then it will be over. But it won't be over unless you do what you need to do. But, yeah, that's what's going on with Leo. He's trapped in the past. He's not able to move on, and part of that is because of Chase. Because Chase hasn't told him our relationship is over, definitively. So, and I mean, there's going to be people out there who say, well, that's Leo's fault. He needs to man up and accept that things are over. But again, Leo can't, to an extent. Like, he plans this entire event in Echo as an attempt to try and get back together. So he's holding on to that hope. He's holding on to it, hoping that they can get back together. And it's like, dude, if Chase would just, if his balls would drop and he would tell Leo, no, we're done, they would move on very quickly. Leo might get pissed off, but that's okay. That's fine. Leo can get as mad as he wants, but it'll let him move forward. Yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, that was it. I didn't know all that trauma was caused by that. Like, I knew, like, there was, just kind of going through the story. It seemed like it was really painful for Leo.
It is incredibly painful, especially. So here's the problem. With the rise of, before social media and before it was easy to see what people are doing in their lives, ghosting someone wasn't the worst thing ever, because if they wanted to know anything about you, they had to go find you. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and this did happen. Like, stalkers were everywhere back in the day. But with the rise of social media, cyber stalking someone is incredibly easy. And what will actually happen is people's former lovers will actually start catfishing them. This happens more often than you think. Catfishing, for those of you who don't know that term, is where you present yourself as someone that you're not. So if someone is if you have someone that you broke up with because they kind of acted a little crazy, and then you find someone on, I don't know, OK Echo, and you start dating them.
DesertMotel.com.
You start dating somebody on this weird website you found called Smoke Room Book, and and you're doing your thing. And then it turns out that the person is actually one of your exes, and they just lured you there. This person where you never respond to their texts, you never respond to any of their messages on Echo Book, you never talk to them at all. My room, nothing. And Smoke Book. So you never respond to them at all. Right? They know that you are pointedly ignoring them, because when they send you a message, they get the 2 check marks, and they know that you read their message. You never respond to them at all. Okay, cool. So they catfish you. They get you into this place where you're not going to know who it is you're coming to go talk to. In your mind, there's a bunch of pictures of this one person, man, woman, NB, whatever, that you're talking to. And then they say they'll meet you at this place, and then you see your ex, and they're there too, and you're just like, well, it's not impossible that that person could be here. And then they come, they sit across from you, and they start talking to you, and they use the cute little nicknames or whatever that they already gave you, or they use that one way, or they identify you directly by your username or something. That's catfishing, and people use it to essentially keep relationships alive online when it's easier to deceive people. And if you're lucky, they just really, 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 really want to talk to you. And that's the entire reason they've been doing this. If you're not lucky, well, they pull out some ropes.
They want to hurt you?
And you get to see the inside of their basement for, a couple of months. Maybe a couple of days. Hopefully you get rescued. But, it is what it is.
You might have to put on some lotion or get the hose again.
Or you might get some hosing, There may, it's just Leo's making an otter suit. It's fine.
The chase face.
There's a reason all those otters have gone missing.
That's why there's no otters in there. The fact that it's a desert. No, that can't be it at all.
It's a body of water right next to it.
My parents didn't move out. They were moved out.
Yeah, they didn't move out. They're just down in the mine. Don't worry about it. Missing some diamond patterns on their back.
Part of them is what? Well, yeah, we do see the inside of his house.
Part of them will live forever.
On his face.
Leo just runs out. Otto! He has Leatherface on. He's like, Otto!
Oh my god! He's got a chainsaw.
Brian kidnaps Chase again. Just Leo shows up wearing his full otter suit and chainsaws Brian to death.
I have otter leather armor.
Yeah.
Turned into Dungeons and Dragons.
Clint just sees that and is like, fuck this, and just runs thinking it's the new aliens or drugs or something. Clint's like, oh my god!
He's like, I knew you were fucked up, but not this bad. I'm out of here. You're on your own, Brian, with this fucking psycho.
Yeah, go watch your cartoons again and... Alright, sounds good. Alright.
It seems like looking in from the outside, by doing echo, you can definitely see the amount of damage that ghosting's done. I'm wondering if I've done that.
Oh, it does an insane amount of damage to people. The good news is that you can actually reach back out to people and be like, hey, I kind of feel like how our whole relationship or friendship ended was kind of ghosty, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Do you need any closure or anything like that? Or
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was... The whole thing is this. In life, when you can admit your own mistakes to people tend to be like, yeah, alright, you were kind of an asshole, but that's fine. And then they're able to move on. There are a handful of people that probably will just never forgive you, but that's usually for other things. It's usually not for ghosting them or zombieing them or whatever. Here's the thing. You have to give yourself some amount of grace. And also other people. Because when you're a teenager, including 18 and 19 and that, or, you can go a teenager, young adult, new adult, that's up to 26-ish, college age. The thing to keep in mind is that during that time, you're a friggin' moron. Your brain hasn't even fully developed until you're 26, 25?
Something like that.
So...
Kind of dependent on how much environment. If you don't give yourself enough stimulation, it probably doesn't reach the full capacity.
No, it's the front of your brain. It's prefrontal cortex. It's the portion that basically makes you focus on consequences or your actions. That part doesn't finish. I think that part finishes growing last. But it's the whole thing of understand that everyone is gonna be kind of immature. That everyone's kind of gonna make huge ass mistakes. Everyone's a dumbass. I think in some way, shape, or form. I think Rooster Teeth put it best with Sarge when they had their whole video where it's just you have to accept one thing, and that is that you are a goddamn idiot. And you'll know that because 10 years from now, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I was a goddamn idiot. And then 10 years from then, you'll look back and be like, wow, I was a goddamn idiot. So it's the whole thing of just give yourself grace, man. Like, also give other people grace. It's the whole thing of most people's behaviors are a combination of all of their experience. I mean, everyone's behaviors are a combination of all of their everything that has happened to them up to this point, all of their traumas, all of their misconceptions about the world, all of their mental disorders, if they have any, and mental illnesses, if they have any, all just sort of bundled into one thing, running through faulty hardware and having them make assumptions about the world that are most likely wrong. This is the thing about the reality.
That's kind of something. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, that's the whole thing of like, take people from wildly different classes of society. You take someone who's super, super rich, who hasn't had any real problems in life aside from maybe like academia or something, and their experience is going to be drastically different from someone in the middle class, whose experience will be drastically different from someone who's of the lower class, whose experience will be drastically different from someone who's of the lower, aka potentially homeless class. So, like, think
or
someone
who struggles with that, teetering on being homeless, because they experience it and they're like, holy God, this sucks.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Let me put it this way. I work at a mental health clinic that's inpatient. Most of the patients that I have are people who are there chronically and tend to go from inpatient care to inpatient care to inpatient care to inpatient care. And they just sort of get handed off between these things. And when they aren't in inpatient care, they're probably homeless. And being homeless sucks. So they'll go and they'll tell the police certain things, and the police will take them to a hospital who will offload them into some sort of inpatient care place, if not within the hospital. And so being in those settings is preferable to being homeless. Having your life essentially controlled by forces outside of your control, who can't just kick you out the... Well, they can kick you out the door, but typically won't kick you out the door. Those places are preferable to being homeless. To give you an idea of how much being homeless sucks. Your life being controlled is preferable to being homeless. But, you know, there's probably a whole thing where they like being homeless for a little bit, then they dislike it, they go to a place that controls their life, they get sick of that, then they want to be homeless again, so they have the freedom again to do whatever they want. So it's just a whole cycle of all this. But, yeah, being homeless sucks. What were you going to say?
I think I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
Is what it is. But yeah, give people grace. If you ghosted people in the past, attempt to reach out to them, apologize for ghosting them, ask them if they want any closure, and also accept that there will be consequences, but also accept that with that potential closure given, you're free from them. That's the thing. And here's also the thing. You remember that you ghosted them. You haven't received closure for that whole relationship. This is part of the reasons, this is one of the many myriad of reasons why someone dying out of the blue that you know is such a problem for a lot of people. This is why you will pretty much be told by everyone, if a person that you know is in the process of dying, move heaven and earth to get your ass over there for that closure. Because, or at least, say you're sorry for anything you did to them. Anything like that. Get any closure you possibly can. Because when they are gone, they're gone. And you are now forever denied that closure for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, we both know about that.
Yeah, so it's just...
We were lucky enough to actually get over there in time.
Yeah. So it's just the whole thing of get closure and give closure. If someone wants a relationship to end, let them end it. Don't try to force them to stick around. It's better to end it and then reopen it later, if that comes up. But anyway,
words of wisdom as always, Finn.
yeah, I mean, there's the whole thing of like wisdom is usually hard gained, hard earned. Intelligence and knowledge is fairly easy to get. Other people have done that for you. Wisdom, on the other hand, is something you get by learning that the hard way. I'll give you an example. Logically, and with knowledge, we understand that someone kicking you in the face kind of sucks. However, the wisdom that getting kicked in the face sucks only comes from experiencing it.
You only learn how much it sucks and what sucks actually means.
Yeah. You only gain the wisdom of being on the ground, unable to move because you're just so out of it after getting knocked out and someone basically stepping on your chest with their boot able to just go straight into your neck and kill you. And that feeling and that experience, I haven't had that yet, but you only get the wisdom of having that experience by having it. The experience of what that experience feels like, the wisdom of what that experience is like, by actually having that happen to you. And you'll notice something. A lot of people who have never been in the fight in their lives think they can take on anyone. A lot of people who have seen a lot of violence, they kind of don't like violence. They kind of don't want to fight people because they realize how friggin' dangerous it is. And they realize that the difference between them winning and them losing, there's a lot of skill to it, but there's also a decent amount of randomness to just how it goes. The other person could get lucky. And what you don't really see in TV, what you don't really see in movies, what you don't really see in books or anything like that, is the simple fact that if somebody gets a good hit on your chin and they make your brain, flap around in your skull enough, you're unconscious. Just flat out. The whole reason an uppercut knocks people out isn't magic. It causes their skull to rapidly go backwards, which causes their brain to slam into the front of their skull and then into the back of their skull and maybe wobble back and forth. And that causes them to just pass out. It's like an off button. Doesn't matter if this is like a slap fest thing or whatever that slap competition is called.
Yeah, that weird thing.
Yeah.
Power slapping?
Yeah, power slap. That's what it's called. It doesn't matter if it's that or anything else. If you take a hit, which you undoubtedly would in a fight, there's always a chance that your lights go out and you're just on the ground, pretty much helpless. And the whole realization that the moment you're out and unable to defend yourself, the person could just walk over and stomp on your neck. The people who have... the people who have had an experience where they have been in that situation and know that other person could have just decided you don't exist anymore. Yeah. Those people tend to not like fights anymore.
Like, I don't want to feel that ever again.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen again.
That was very, just a lot of hope.
Yeah, that crackhead probably could have tied a rope around my neck and just strangled me by now. So, and then the whole realization that when you are waking up, you can't just, it isn't D&D, you don't just immediately jump back to your feet and you're ready to go. It's like, no, it takes you like 20, 30, 40 seconds to get your bearings and be able to do anything again.
Computers rebooting.
So, yeah. As I said, wisdom is hard earned, unfortunately, and knowledge is fairly easy to gain. You can literally go online and get knowledge handed to you. You can go to a college or a university and have them just hand you knowledge on a silver platter that you paid a lot of money to get. So, I guess at this point, universities are more of a golden platter, right? But,
Yeah, for real.
you know, it is what it is.
You were talking about that earlier.
Oh, yeah, I started working towards
Just before we
master's
started
college.
recording, almost 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, community college is, for a full load, is around 3/5 of what a single class at a university costs. So unless you just really, really, really want to get your name on the books at a university, probably just take all the classes at community college if you can. As many as
That's
you
when
can.
all the Europeans are like, "What do you guys still pay for your fucking college?" What is wrong with you
I
people?
know, right? Europeans
People
just
must
like,
be retarded.
yeah, well, we really don't usually say that word, but yeah, Europeans are kind of just like, you guys pay a ton of money to go to college? Why? We get ours for
Yeah.
free. I think
We
in
get ours for free, and
yeah.
the government takes care of us. Your government abandons you every chance it gets.
Yeah.
And then makes you pay for everything.
Then they,
Like, you
then
guys special, a special lot.
yeah, then they bring in, then you guys elect some guy who looks like he has jaundice or something, and let him just go and, then you guys, then like part of your population celebrates this guy. I don't know.
That are all very similar to
Yeah, and your population just celebrates you guys as weird orange burnt president going and filleting some guy who's always Putin, you know?
Yeah. It's like, just, hey, Putin, get a room. You two can just go get a room.
They do. It's on Air Force One. All right. All right, everyone. I guess we'll see you all later.
I guess that'll be it. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.